Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Brooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the Owl Show right here on BKS1 Radio. It is your girl. I am Latoya Chanel, and I am here. I'm from home, everybody, right? And I know you're probably wondering, why is she home today? Because she has definitely gone back into the studio. Well, I will tell you exactly why I'm home today. I'm home because I went on vacation, right? And although we are no longer quarantining after coming off of vacation time, we're still trying to make sure that everything is safe. So, you know, just to keep everyone safe, just to keep everyone at the studio safe, I have decided, I've taken this upon myself, everybody. I have decided to make sure I just stay put for a couple of days after coming back, just to make sure if I did pick up any sort of germs or anything else, I'm not spreading them around to, you know, all of the lovely, lovely, lovely people who are at the studio, because I would not want to do that. So in the meantime, you guys get me at home. So I am in my home office right now, taking care of business, doing what I have to do. And I have an amazing show for you all this evening with a great guest, personal friend of mine, but big wig in the business. He is absolutely amazing, and we're going to get to him in the next 10 minutes or so. But in the meantime, you got me. So first and foremost, I'm going to shout out my partner, Miss Queen B. I know you guys are missing her just as much as I am. But again, like I said on the previous shows, we cannot practice or we can't sit here and preach self-care, taking care of yourself and what you need to do for you, and then in turn not live that at the same time. So she is definitely living it, and she is doing what she needs to do for her. So I am in full agreement of that. But we miss you here on the show, Miss Queen B, and whenever you decide to come back, we are here and we are waiting for you. However, right now you guys are stuck with me. It's Latoya Chanel. So I want to talk about a couple things. Again, like I said, while I was on vacation this weekend, there are a few things that happened that I just want to talk about, because I'm seeing some trends. And you guys talk to me in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about it, right? So I'm going to throw out the word, and you guys, you know, give me some feedback, you know, talk to me. I'm watching, you know, watching the comment section. I'm going to throw out the word division. Does the word division mean anything to anyone? Anyone who is watching live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, BKS1 radio page? The word division. I am noticing so much division. So let me take you there, right? That's what we say in my girlfriend group. You always like, well, put me there. What are you talking about? So I'm coming back. We're on the plane late. And, you know, as we're landing, it was a little while before we could get off the plane. So, of course, I'm scrolling through social media and just seeing what's going on, you know, late at night, because we didn't land till about 11:30 at night. And the entire time I'm scrolling on Instagram and the entire time I am scrolling on Facebook, all I could see was back and forth, no matter what the topic was, right? So first you had people that were talking about the vaccination, right? And the conversation just kept going on and on and on with people from both sides literally coming at each other. And of course, you got the maybe two people that are like, well, it's your personal choice. You can do this, you can do that. But for the most part, all you see is people literally going head to head with, I'm vaccinated, you need to be vaccinated, it's stupid, why do you feel that way? Versus, I'm not vaccinated, I'm not getting vaccinated, I don't know what's in it, I don't know this, that, and the other. And it's literally people coming at each other, I mean, viciously at this point, right? Viciously. And it's like post after post after post of just division, so much division, right? So that was the first thing. And then I saw something that was very interesting, and I didn't know, but because I did watch CNN, over the course of the pandemic. That was like my nightly thing. 9 o'clock, I had to watch Cuomo. 10 o'clock, I had to watch, Don Lemon, right? But I did not know how many people are Trump supporters. And again, this is just my own ignorance. And I'm not saying you should be or you shouldn't be. Obviously, I have my personal preference. But the actor, singer extraordinaire, Tyrese, put up a post saying, why is this man not arrested, right? And he goes on and on in this post discussing all the things that he's done and why he should be arrested for all the things that he's done. When I tell you, I literally started reading through all of the comments. And this is why sometimes you got to stay off of social media, right? For your own well-being. 9,600 comments. And the majority of the ones that I could get through were pro-Trump. He's not the worst president. I can't wait until he gets back into office. These are just some of the comments. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, what it is that I saw. But, most of what I saw was, he's not the worst president. I can't wait until he's back in the office. You want Trump to be arrested. What about Biden? He needs to be arrested. Some people were saying, what about Clinton? What about Obama? They need to be arrested. What about their crimes? What about all the stuff that they've done and the stuff that Biden is doing? And Trump's definitely coming back in 2024. And again, so much division. It was so much division that to me, it was almost insane. Like, one post after another was literally the world divided by Trump. One post or another was the world divided by this vaccination. And then, of course, you got your, what are we going to call it here? Your run-of-the-mill division, right? It was your run-of-the-mill division on, I don't agree with this, or I don't agree with that, or, and then you have websites for people who travel and websites for people who are dating and, this, that, or the other. And I just found it to be so fascinating. And for those of you who are movie buffs, and hopefully you are, because our guest tonight is, but for those of you who are movie buffs, it literally reminded me of the plot from Wonder Woman that came out last year, right? Where they were trying to keep away the agent of evil who was dividing the nation. And then once you divide the nation, you would be able to conquer the nation. And everybody was running around spewing so much negativity. And everybody was running around just being mad at their brother and mad at family and not speaking with family and not talking to this one for this reason. And, and my question, and again, I'm not here to spew this whole world peace ideology, but before the vaccination, before Trump, didn't we have enough? Is it me? Didn't we have enough to be divided over? Didn't we have enough to already fight over? Racism wasn't enough. Classism wasn't enough. Sexism wasn't enough. But now we're fighting over if Trump was a good president. Now we're fighting over, to be vaccinated versus to not be vaccinated. It's like, isn't it enough that is going on in the world where we literally don't need anything else? I mean, let me know if it's me. You guys talk to me. Talk to me in the chat. I'm watching the chat right now here on Facebook. Eric McKay. Hey, Eric McKay, how are you? Let me know. Talk to me and let me know what you guys think about this, because literally from what I'm seeing, it's just more. It's literally just more for us to fight over. It's more for us to be divided over. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be extremely honest with you guys. It made me sad enough that I had to turn off social media at the time. I literally had to turn off everything. I turned off Facebook. I turned off Instagram. I couldn't scroll anymore because it was starting to make me sad. I was starting to feel depressed because there was just so much fighting and so much bickering and so many people that had such nasty things to say about each other that honestly, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't, and there's so many stories. I actually saw that there's going to be a news story tonight discussing depression in the millennial generation just from viewing Facebook too much. I mean, not Facebook because they don't do that. Instagram. Just from viewing Instagram too much. You can get depressed for something that is supposed to be spare time entertainment, and it started me thinking how many people are really sitting at home during this pandemic that are suffering from depression because of the opinions of others that you don't even know, the opinion of others that you've never met before a day in your life. Where does that come from? It's like in my generation, that was not a thing. In my generation, your bully was someone that you knew. You could touch, feel, you heard the words that they said. Or if you were bullied enough where you were getting beat up, you actually felt the punches. It wasn't a metaphorical punch. You know what I mean? And it's like, why do we do that to ourselves? And now we're fighting with people where we could literally see what they're saying on social media and then click off. If you don't like what I'm saying right now on this show, you could literally hit the button and don't have to deal with it anymore. And it's like, what are we doing as a people? We are now so divided over people's opinions and fighting over people's opinions. And at the end of the day, these are people that we will never meet in our life, but we are so stressed out over it. And again, I found myself being so stressed out over just fighting on social media. I don't know. Again, maybe it's me. And we said at the beginning of the pandemic, the therapy field was going to be making tons and tons of money from people that had to stay home, and of course there were so many other things. There was so much sudden loss. There was the loss of life. There was the loss of careers. There was the loss of homes. There was so much loss to deal with. And that I completely understand. But just the loss of peace of mind because of being home and having to be on social media, having to deal with that was a lot too. So everybody just be mindful, But I'm going to get on a happier note right now because my guest is in the virtual building with me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce him as he's coming in. Personal friend of mine. Absolutely amazing. He's been a director, producer, writer, showrunner. For me personally, comedian, alcohol connoisseur. What else can I say? One one of the most
handsome. You forgot.
Yes, one of the most handsome showrunners and directors and producers and writers that I know personally. If I can say that. Everybody, please help me welcome to the virtual building, Mr. Patrick Coker. So I'm going to do one of these with you. I'm going to do one of these. Thank you so much for being here today and speaking with me about, this industry that we call entertainment that you have mastered. So welcome.
Thanks for having me, but I'm far from mastered this. This is a crazy, crazy business. I'm just dipping my toes in at the sideline.
Yeah, but you're doing it well. And you're doing it well, and you're succeeding in it.
Oh, I'll take that.
Okay, can I say that? Can I say that?
Yeah,
you're doing it well and succeeding in it. Okay, I can say that. So first and foremost, listen, I want to ask, how are you? I start every interview with how are you? There's been so much going on, from pandemics to floods to, again, like I said, loss and all kinds of stuff. So first and foremost, just how are you? How is Patrick?
Patrick is doing well. He's talking about himself in the third person right now, so he's doing really.
It's fine.
It's been a crazy couple of years, and I mean the last couple of months with the hurricane and everything. I was lucky. I just got a little bit of water in the basement. I know people who got flooded out. I know people who were stuck overnight. One of my friends actually was at the 28th Street station in Manhattan when all that water came flooding in. Yeah.
Oh no.
It's crazy, yeah. And she got safe though. She had to spend a night with a friend in Newark who just happened to live like 2.5 blocks from Newark Penn Station. Yeah. So her friend's son came and rescued her and brought her back home.
Oh my God.
She got lucky, but yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. Especially for, we're not used to that.
Yeah, and you know what? And the crazy part is the next morning it was like nothing happened. The sun came out. Beautiful. It was like the absolute most beautiful day ever, as if nothing had happened.
Yeah. Like that was literally a warning shot from Mother Earth. Like, y'all need to get y'all shit straight.
Yep. Yeah. You think? And that leads me back into this pandemic. And everyone, and this is something that I had to discuss recently, for a lot of us, the pandemic has become some sort of lesson in value, right? Valuing life, valuing our careers, valuing our direction and what it is that we want to do. So it's, I lived my life doing this for so long. Now I want to do this. Life is short. So I'm going to value my time and my talents, and I'm going to do something different. For a lot of us, that has been the lesson. For some of us, it has driven us crazy, and so for some of us, you're hearing about more crime.
Yeah.
You're hearing about more death, more suicide, more, and it's like everyone isn't getting the same thing from this. Like you said, that was Mother Nature's warning, but everyone's not getting those warnings. Everyone's not getting those lessons of value. So
yeah, well, I think with the pandemic, one of the gifts of the pandemic and the curse is people had to stay home with themselves.
Yep.
And a lot of people realize they didn't like themselves. They don't like. Some people chose that moment to make a change, and some people made a change for the better. Some people made a change for the worse. But a lot of people realized they didn't like themselves. They didn't like where their lives were. They didn't like where they saw their lives heading. And it's easy to ignore your life and what's going on around you when you're so busy in that rat race, trying to make a dollar, trying to make this happen, da-da-da. But when you have to sit still with no one but yourself, ooh, that's a can of whoop ass for you right there.
Yes, it is. So how did you manage? How did you get through personally?
The pandemic everything for me started blowing up during the pandemic. I shot my last short in January of 2020, right before everything shut down.
Yeah.
And then in April of 2020, I got the offer to be co-head writer and co-showrunner on Tales on BET with my partner, Adam Wiesen. And we took that, and I was still, at the time, I was still working for a telephone company. I was working for Verizon. Shout out to CWA, 1109, my local, still my boy, my sisters. And I was able to do part of the writing part I was able to do while still working for Verizon. But then it came time for me to do the production. I found out in December that I found out in November I was going to have to leave at the top of the year to go to Atlanta to work on the production. So I had this quandary because I had been at Verizon for 23 years.
Wow.
And Verizon, for those of you who don't know, I was outside tech, pays very well. The benefits are amazing. They pay for my MFA. They pay for the whole thing. When I graduated with my MFA, I did not have any student loans or anything, and I didn't pay for any of it because Verizon paid for it.
Wow, great company to work for.
Yeah, but hang on, don't get it wrong. The reason they paid for it is because the union fought for all of that.
Okay.
But I said to say, so when it came time in November where they said, listen, come to the top of the year, you're gonna have to go to Atlanta to shoot. I had to make a decision. And you know how you always like, people like, God, give me a sign, Verizon offered a package, a buyout. They said, if you have enough time, if you take an early retirement, we'll give you $75,000 extra. So I was just like, if this isn't a sign,
that was almost just a punch in the face, but yeah.
And and it was like, here I am being offered to get into the industry I've been fighting to get into for 20 years at a very high level. And the job that I have is saying, here, we're gonna give you a good cushion to land on. So I took it, and I, for the first time in 30 years, I didn't have a weekly check. And letting go of that is scary.
During a pandemic.
When
people are losing jobs.
Yes. But it was like, when you ask for something, when you ask for opportunity that's given to you, you either take it or you never ask again. You have to be real with yourself and say, I don't really want this, or I'm too afraid to go after it.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And went down there with my partner, and we rocked out.
Listen, so let's get into it. So the show Tales on BET, everybody. So everyone's seen an episode or some episode or season or whatever it is, or maybe you're just a Tales fanatic, but Tales on BET, everybody. So you guys are just wrapped season 3?
Right.
Okay. So listen, it's a successful show. Most, shows don't get past season 1. So you guys just wrapped season 3. Tell us about it. Tell us what goes into writing this genre of television.
Well, it's an anthology. And so basically what we did was we made 10 long short films, 10 films of about between 42 and a half minutes to 50 minutes apiece. We took 10 classic rap songs, classic hip hop songs, and we turned them into narratives, all types of songs. And, and you have to come up with different storylines for each one. And the storyline has to be entertaining, has to be exciting, and it has to say something, and it has to match the song as say something that the song is about. So what we did was we came up with the treatments, and then for a lot of it, half the season, 5 episodes, we farmed it out to different writers. And then my partner, Adam, and I, we wrote 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. And it was deep, dealing with the network, because you have one idea, the network has another idea.
Absolutely.
And you guys have to come together and find a common ground. And we worked with Rose Catherine Pickney at BET, who's amazing. She had a lot of great ideas. She had some that we pushed back on. And, you know, one of the main things we had to learn, because this was our first time as showrunners, was how to take notes from the network. Because as a writer, as an artist, you think your shit don't stink.
Of course.
And, you know, and when they tell you, well, maybe you should try this, you're like, how are you going to tell me how to write it? And we had to learn to sit back and actually listen. And yeah, a lot of times they were right. And, you know, you got to put your ego to the side, because you want to get the best show possible out of it. And a lot of times when someone is looking at it from the outside, they see things that you don't see, you know, and they give you little nuggets that can help you make it better, because they help you see it in a different way, you know. So that was a great learning experience we had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Always learning.
Yes, always, because
always.
You in this business, you don't know nothing. No matter how long you've been here, you don't know nothing. I spoke to a showrunner the other day who did a $25 million pilot. Just the pilot cost $25 million, and the network passed on it.
What happens in situations like that? What do you do? It's just, okay, wasted money. It's over. Keep going. Do you keep shopping it around, or?
No, it's not yours to shop. The network owns it. You don't own anything.
Wow.
So the network decides that they want to go a different way or with a different show, and they shelved it. They may come back to it a year from now or whatever, but for now they shelved it. You've been paid. Your checks have cleared. You go on to, you know, as a showrunner or as a writer in this industry, you have to always be creating. Always. Because once you finish one job, you have to go on to the next job. Yeah. And if you're creating or able to create, you know, or playing somebody else's sandbox, you're out of it.
So what is that like for you as a writer? Like you said, you're always creating. Where do you come up with some of this stuff? Or if we can just slice open Patrick's head, right? What kind of stories? Like, how are you sitting in Starbucks and someone walks by and you're like, what if they tripped and fell and end up in hell, and then this is their journey? Like, how does that work?
First of all, never Starbucks. Never Starbucks. I do the local coffee shops.
Okay,
never.
So you're in your local coffee shop. Yes.
Yeah. You know, I spend a lot of time daydreaming. One of the things I love doing, and it got kind of curtailed during the pandemic, but I'm starting to do it again, is I like taking the subway, just taking it to nowhere. And you see so many different characters on the subway, and you look at them and you're like, what is their life?
What is their story?
What is their story? And you start making it up, or you hear something. I have a neighbor who has the most amazing job, and his story, I'm trying to convince him to let me tell his story, because his story is amazing. Yeah. And it's impactful, but he doesn't want to be seen as he's taking advantage of the position that he was put in, and he's profiting off of that. So I'm trying to find a way to get with a network that will put money into the organization that he's a part of, so that I can get his story. So that way he'll get paid. The organization will do better because the network is putting money into that organization. And the story we know because it's an amazing story. You know? Or sometimes it's just the people you know. I'm working on another series that has to do with some relatives of mine. And they have an amazing story. Even though most people who think they have an amazing story don't. Because
I can't call you like Patrick. I got it.
No,
I got it.
No,
the other day I went in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like you can't turn this into a film.
You get a lot of that. You get a lot of that. Everybody thinks their life is worth a TV series or a feature film. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, most people's lives are good for a short. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Well, we're going to do a short on mine. We've been discussing that for some years now, and I keep telling you that because I am one of those people that I feel like it could be on the big screen. I'm just saying.
Okay. I'm going to give you my agent's number. You guys can talk.
Right. No, but seriously, just being a creative, I think one of the main things you said is you daydream a lot.
Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of people don't consider that work.
Mm.
You like my wife doesn't understand why she'll go to work and I'm sitting at my desk just doing nothing. And she'll come back and I'm sitting at my desk doing nothing. And I'm just like, this is the process.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like with me, like when I'm doing screenplays, mm-hmm. I have to have the whole story in my head before I can start writing. Mm-hmm. So that might take, I have one screenplay that literally I've been thinking about for 14 years.
Mm.
And I'm not ready to write it yet.
Because you don't know the end from the beginning.
I know how it begins. I know how it ends, but I'm not sure about that road from the beginning to the end. And I have it almost figured out, but not quite. And I have to have it figured out. And it might change once I start writing, but mm-hmm. it's like what I say about marriage. When you get married, when you walk down that aisle, you have to believe it's forever. It might not be forever, but when you're walking down that aisle, if you don't think it's for forever, you shouldn't walk down that aisle. You just shouldn't.
I've always listened to so much marital advice from you over the years. Now, granted, I haven't done it again yet, but there are so many things that you have said over the years that have stuck. So this was great. This is great. But I like from the creative part, there are so many people that are creatives, and there are so many people that, again, during this pandemic, decided I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go for it. And for you to be doing it and to be doing it successfully, so that you can sit at home at your desk and daydream and still eat when you get up. That is an amazing thing.
This has been a long journey, though. I wrote my first screenplay in 2001. I didn't get paid to write a screenplay until 2009. I didn't get into the WGA until 2017. That's when I got paid to write my first TV script. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the biggest thing for me is there are a lot of people who are in this world who are way better writers than I am, way better directors, way better producers. But you got to stay in the game long enough to win. Perseverance is the main thing. If you quit, you can't win. You just can't, and that's the main thing. I know I've worked with people who are way better at me than everything I do. They didn't stay in the game. So there's no way that they can win. And a lot of people, like I know a lot of writers who are great writers who don't put their stuff out there because they think somebody's gonna steal it or whatever. No one can know how dope you are if you keep your shit on your computer locked up. And if you're a creator, most people are not gonna steal your stuff. And even if let's say they steal one, if you're a creator, you should have 15 more in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have just one idea. If you only have one idea, then you're not made for this industry. You're a person who sell an idea and get some money and do something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was just enough I was going to ask you what advice you would give to someone trying to get into this industry, but I feel like right there you just coined it.
You just gotta stay. Listen, I have done everything. I've been a PA when I was doing PA work when I was in my 40s for indie films, which means I was doing PA work and getting paid $50 a day plus a meal, but I knew this is what I wanted to do. So I stayed with it. I remember doing a film where they were using all of my equipment. The reason they were able to film was because I had the equipment and they were filming it. And I was a PA.
Wow.
And I PA'd the shit out of that job. Because my thing is, if I'm here and I'm going to do it,
just do it.
I'm
do it right. Be the best at it.
I'm going to be totally committed to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on, and ironically, I just had this discussion in a meeting today with actually an individual that I'm going to be interviewing next week on the show. We were discussing internships, right? And like you said, PA is really kind of internships for, whatever industry, it is that you want to, the entertainment industry. But we were talking about the next generation that wants to come out of college and have a salary to live on, without putting in any work, again, everyone doesn't want to be, like making the band, and you don't want to walk, to buy cheesecake for Diddy, you know what I mean? But what are your thoughts on skipping the process of character building in this entertainment industry?
Okay, so I don't agree with you. I don't believe in unpaid internships.
Okay.
Because most of the time when you see people doing the work in an unpaid internship, they're doing the work of somebody that should be being paid.
Mm-hmm.
So don't believe in that at all. I think you can build character and still get a paycheck.
Okay.
Because when you're putting in 10, 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're building character, and you should be eating, especially because of the fact that if you don't do that job, that show or that movie doesn't get made.
Right.
So that means that what you're doing has a dollar value, and you should get paid for it. Mm-hmm. When I was in college, I did 3 internships. All of them were paid. And I got offered internships that weren't paid. They was just like, this is a great experience. I was like, it's a great experience. Why aren't you paying me? And they looked at me like I was crazy. And they were like, next. And my whole thing was, what I do is valuable. Even if you're just making copies,
mm-hmm.
if you aren't there to make copies, guess what? Somebody who's on payroll is going to have to build copies.
Mm-hmm.
So why shouldn't they pay you?
I understand. But what about the PA work? What are your thoughts?
I think they should be paid a living wage also. I mean,
really?
I did it. I did it when I was in college and everything, and I was able to do it because I had a day job that was paying me well. I just think old school communists, I guess. I think everybody should be paid for their work. I don't think anybody should. I think it's like I have friends who do certain things. Like I have a friend who paints houses for a living, and I needed my house painted. And because he's my boy, he was going to paint my house for me. And I was like, what's your rate? He was just like, nah, I got you. I was like, no. I would never ask anybody to do something for free that they do to put food on their table.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I needed some furniture moved, I'd call him if he wanted to charge me. I'd be like, are you stupid? You just helped me move some furniture. Mm-hmm. But because he paints for a living, I have to pay him to do that. Because if you ask me to do what I do for a living, I want to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody should get paid to do what they do for a living.
Okay. Although that doesn't happen in entertainment.
No, it doesn't. But you know me. Everybody who's worked on any of my sets has gotten paid. everybody's got a paycheck, except for me.
I was going to say, except for you, yes. Except for you.
But I made sure everybody got a paycheck, and that was coming out of my pocket, because what you're doing is worthwhile. Otherwise, why are you there? You're putting something, you're adding something to my film. So why wouldn't I pay you?
Yeah. So what before I get into what additional advice for you, director, producer, writer, showrunner, being a PA, like you said, you've done it all. I'm sure you've done some crafty services at some point in time. You've done some acting. You've done all of it. What do you prefer? Or do you just like all of it? All of it is good for you.
No, all of it is not good for me. Like one of the things you will never hear me say I do is sound. I don't do sound because I suck at it. Everything else, I'm okay. I DP for a while. I was okay at that. And then my friends who really are DPs will just like give me the camera and go talk to the actors. But if I have my druthers directing, I love directing. I love helping actors build characters. I love helping the DP create the visual and bringing that to life. I like writing. I mean, I'm good at it, so, and I get paid for it. That was my into the industry. So so I will always like writing. But if I had to pick one, directing.
Movies, shorts, or television?
Oh, not shorts. I think I'm done with shorts now.
Are you done with those?
I think I'm done with.
So we're not working together anymore. Is that what you're saying?
We could probably work together, but I'm done with shorts for myself. I will work on other people's shorts, but for myself, I'm done with shorts. And the reason for that is there's so many streamers and networks and things out there now that need content. They're begging for content. So in the time that it takes you to do a short, you could work twice as long and get something that you could sell. So I think that's the investment of your money and time.
Yeah.
To make something that you could possibly get a return on. A short, you could take to festivals and get all sorts of accolades and all sorts of awards.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll win a cash prize. And maybe you'll get noticed and you'll get a job, or you'll get put on. But if you write and you produce, let's say, a 22-minute comedy piece that can be seen as a pilot, that's something that you can actually sell and can be life-changing. So they can be like, hey, where does this go? And they could put you, like look at Issa Rae.
Right.
Look at what she did with her web series.
Yeah.
Issa Rae will never have to worry about where she's going to eat a day in her life again.
Never.
So, I mean, and right now in the industry, like, content is king. I think they said in 2014 or something like that, there was something like 450 scripted shows or something like that. Now there's something like 1,700 scripted shows, and that's not they're always looking for more. Netflix, all the streamers are always looking for more shows and more movies. So why not make something that you can possibly make your money back and or make a profit off of?
So for you, it's all features or episodic series from now on.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope I can stay in that world. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to do a shameless plug to Queen City, the 4th annual Queen City Film Festival that is coming up in October. So you guys go to QCFFNJ.com. Again, that's QCFFNJ.com, and submit your feature, submit your short, submit your video, submit your episodic series, whatever it is. Just make sure you submit. There is still time, so get on and do that. That was a shameless plug. I had to throw that in. Everybody.
I am not mad at shameless plugs.
But listen, okay, so now for you, advice. So everybody wants to be in entertainment. Like I said, there's a lot of people that woke up during this pandemic and said, I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I want to direct, I want to produce. This has been my life dream, and I've worked in corporate world for so long, and now I want to go into it. What do you say to them?
Do the work. Do the work. I mean, you might want to do it, but are you capable of doing it on a level where somebody's going to pay you? You have to do the studying. You have to do the work. You have to. I know a lot of people say they want to be writers in this industry, but they haven't written anything.
Yeah.
You know, or they've written a couple of things, but they haven't rewritten them. Because I guarantee you, the first thing you wrote is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple, especially if you haven't rewritten it. I mean, and then you haven't put it out there for peer review for people who actually do this for a living. You haven't put it anywhere where they can say, yeah, well, this works, but this doesn't work. You know, and there's all types of online groups and classes and everything you can do now. The best thing I can say is invest in yourself. Plain and simple. Put the money up to learn how to do it correctly. You may have a great idea, but can you take that great idea and make it into a script or screenplay or whatever? Can you, because if you can't do that, then it's just a great idea.
Right.
You know, and if having a great idea doesn't make you a writer. It makes you somebody with a great idea. Just because I see a lot of people who want to be directors, but they don't know how to talk to actors. Mm-hmm. So take a class in how to direct, so that you can learn the actors' language.
How to connect, how to speak their language.
Yeah. And the same thing with with your crew. How do you connect with your crew so your crew wants to work for you? As a director, you have to be a leader. But the other thing is, people think that there are only like 5 jobs in this industry. You could be a writer, producer, director, on-screen talent. There's so many jobs in this industry. If you get a call sheet and you look at the below the line jobs, there's so many jobs that really pay well. Gaffer, grip, sound, prop master, all these jobs that, set dressers, costuming, hair and makeup, all these jobs that pay really well. I have a friend, Tyrone. You met Tyrone Trell. Tyrone has been doing hair and makeup in this industry for the longest. Tyrone, I think his rate is something like $17.50 a day to do hair. And if he's doing hair and makeup, it's probably like $2,500 a day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money to be made in this industry on jobs that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
So you could be somebody who all they do is they're a prop person for cars, and what you do is you get the cars that people need. There's all types. Or you could be a gunsmith, and you get the guns that people need, and you make sure the guns are loaded the correct way while people are on set. There's so many different jobs that you can get. Yeah. You don't have to be a director or producer or a writer or an actor. But the thing about it is, if that's what you want, it's always easier to get at those jobs once you're in the industry.
Right.
There were a couple of guys who were PAs who, during Tales, who I talked to, who wanted to be writers. I had no problem sitting down and talking to them and reading their stuff. I love doing it.
Yeah, good.
So I would read their stuff and I would critique it and give them notes and help them. I had no problem at all doing that.
Which is great, because so many people are just, so closed mouth and, won't share any knowledge, share any experience. So kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah, but the thing about it, though, was they were working and they were like, I'm going to get in this industry no matter how I have to get in. So they were PA. They were starting at, quote unquote, the bottom. And it was just like, I'm going to do this until I can do what I want to do.
Right.
They were investing in themselves in their careers.
Invest in yourself. We got a couple of questions. What would you tell someone that has a story and a concept and doesn't know how to put it on film?
I would say if you have a story and a concept, what you need to do is find a producer and find a hungry producer up and coming like you are and say, hey, I got this idea. I have this script. Can we get together and make something happen? And if it's really good, they will find a way to make it happen for you.
Okay. That's a question. That was one. Another one was, when do you know to get an agent?
The agent will find you. Yeah, I never went to get an agent. My agent found me. Yeah. Because this is the thing about it. Agents, lawyers, and managers only eat if you make money. So when you're at the point where you're about to make money or you're making money, an agent will find you because they want to eat off of what you make.
Listen, those are two of our top questions that we had in the chat between social and Facebook. So I didn't want to go on because, unfortunately, of course, I could talk to you all night. There are times where I have, but unfortunately, we are coming towards the end of the show, and I just want to make sure we wrap up and you tell everybody where to watch the first 2 seasons of Tales. But before we do that, your favorite Tales episode?
Oh my God. The first one I ever wrote, which was Mary J. and Meth, You're All I Need, 2-hour season finale for the first season.
Okay, season finale for the first season. Okay. Alrighty. And other than, I know you're huge into horror. What other genre?
Oh, film noir.
What is that?
That's like old school detective stories, like Chinatown, Devil in a Blue Dress, Body Heat, all those things. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you written anything so far in those genres?
Yeah, we got some stuff coming out.
Oh, I'm excited. I am excited. This should be interesting. I'm excited. Okay. Listen, it has been a pleasure as always. Tell everybody, if they don't know, and I'm sure everybody does know because we've streamed literally throughout the entire pandemic. But if anybody wants to see the first 2 seasons of Tales, tell everybody where they can find it.
You can see it on BET.com. You can see season 1 actually on YouTube also. And I think it's on Paramount Plus now, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and BET Plus, BET.com, Paramount Plus, YouTube. Yeah.
And when does season 3 come out?
I think either October or November this year. Yeah.
Okay, so that's I think 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Will there be a season 4?
Yes, there will be. Yes,
so I'm going to do a cameo, is what you're telling me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Wait, that's industry talk for have your people call my people. What was that episode of Martin where he wanted to the Varnell Hill show? He's like, yeah, have your people call my people.
Yeah.
That's industry talk. Yeah, we'll talk behind the scenes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk behind the scenes. But no, seriously though, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure. You are always a wealth of knowledge, no matter how many times I talk to you and no matter what it is we talk about. So I thank you so much for coming on the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and we're gonna have you back. Not only are we gonna have you back when at the end of season 3, but we're definitely gonna have you back when your film noir appears.
It's the end. Film noir.
Say it again.
Film noir.
Film noir.
Yeah, like black. Yeah.
When your film noir appears, we'll definitely have you back on, and we're going to discuss that too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay. Later.
All righty. Bye. Okay, everybody. That was the amazing Patrick Coker. Again, friend of mine, absolutely love him. Extremely talented. And again, it's always one of those wisdom conversations. And he shares his wisdom and all of his experiences that he's had throughout the years. So it's always a pleasure talking to him. It's always a pleasure being in his energy. And again, we thank him so much for being on the Owl Show tonight. Again, we're going to continue on with this next week. We are going to have another guest who is going to be in the virtual studio with us, and we're going to go from music and we're going to go from film to the music industry next week. So everybody, please make sure you stay tuned for that. Please make sure you watch again next week for that. We are talking about the entertainment industry this month. We started off with Kima, who was actually the talent as a part of the group Total, and, you know, being on Bad Boy. Today we went right into directing, acting, producing, and television. And next week we're going to go into music and this whole virtual industry and, you know, how all of that is done. And hopefully by the time we wrap up at the end of the month, you will have whatever information you need about the entertainment industry, whether you're just interested in knowing about how things work, or if you just want to be a part of it, you know, whatever it is, we're going to have it right here on the Owl Show. I am Latoya Chanel. Please make sure you're tuning into the Owl Show, whether you're watching on YouTube, our Facebook page, or our Instagram Live, and learn something as I'm learning it too. It was a pleasure being with you guys tonight. Love you guys for watching. Love you guys for listening. God willing, we'll be here next week. Same time, same place, different show. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.